Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to MyRemy Live, live Q&A, where we run through bro science grow myths through our AI grow buddy, MyRemy, and find out what's real and what's just hype. So we do this regularly, once a week, about 15 minutes, 3 questions, straight talk, no fluff. We're going to see what MyRemy says, and then I'll break it down with a little real-world grower talk. Quick shout out, by the way, to everyone who stopped by last week. We had the Soil King himself pop in live, and that was wild. What's up, everybody? We appreciate all the growers who tuned in and shared the replay. Before we dive in, just a few quick reminders. Our next mushroom cultivation class, all right, is December 6th. All right, the last one was packed with straight up knowledge, and the next Grow Like a Pro class is going to be on November 15th. All right, that's our 4-week course, totally free. Listen, all the information's available on our website. All right, check that out. Also, we've got a Milwaukee pen giveaway going on right now on Instagram, guys. If you haven't seen, all right, there it is. Make sure you go tap in on that. You know what I'm talking about, because when our sponsors see involvement like that, they get excited and they keep the prizes coming. So part of our community service, right? All right. If you are new here, remember, you can try MyRemy free anytime at gzgrowshops.com. While you're there, grab our free growing guides and book a live one-on-one shopping session with me. Oh, God. We'll go through your grow setup together and we'll shop through the aisles, right? So if you're without a store near you, we'll be your store. Everything we build here, MyRemy, the classes, the guides, it's all designed to keep it real, keep it local, and science-based, so you can grow smarter and stress less. So if you've got a question, go ahead and pop it in the chat. Otherwise, I've got a few lined up myself. What's up, everybody? All right, well, let's fire up MyRemy and get to tonight's grow science, shall we? I will flip this camera around real quick. We will zoom in to the website. Again, guys, relatively newly designed. We got Frenchy Cannoli on the cover, front and center. Shop live with Joe any Tuesday right now. Go ahead, click that in. As you scroll down, there's the MyRemy. There's the sauce. We're going to go right there in a second. Check out this grow guides also, guys. All right, so whatever, go check it out at your leisure. Let's jump into the MyRemy chatbot. Okay, you can click right there, totally free, and boom, we are in. All right, I've explained this to you last time. I do have the questions. I have not looked up the answers. It's kind of fun for me too, right? We're gonna look at these together. This isn't we're not setting this up. We're obviously a huge 7,000 square foot store packed with everything you could ever want, but we're here to kind of go through the bro science. You know what you just read on Reddit. Is that real? All right. Let's dive in. First question. Yes, where did we leave off last week? All right. Does adding molasses in bloom boost trichomes or just feed microbes? That's a very interesting question. We're going to type that into MyRemy. Pop it up. All right. Here's where the gold comes. And I'm just going to read it out to you. All right, the question. Does adding molasses in bloom boost trichomes or just feed microbes? Good question. This one gets tossed around a lot in grow circles. Here's the straight scoop. Molasses mainly feeds your soil microbes, not directly your trichomes. Those microbes break down organic matter and release nutrients, especially potassium and micronutrients, which can help your plant's overall health. And a healthy, happy plant will indirectly produce more resin. But molasses itself isn't some magic frost booster. It's like giving the microbes dessert. They go to work faster, which can make your medium more bioactive. That can support better flavor and aroma, but not a guaranteed trichome explosion. If you're running organic soil, a tablespoon per gallon of water once a week in bloom is fine. In bloom. If you're on hydro or cocoa, skip it. That's some good info. If you're in hydro or skip the molasses. Molasses can gunk up lines and cause bioslime. Right, we know that. All right, if you actually want to target trichome density, focus on keeping temps cooler at the end of bloom. 65 to 70 degrees, there's a hack. UVB exposure or a strong full spectrum light. UVB. A slight dryback before harvest. Okay, these are all great tips. Now, if you want a product specifically aimed at resin production, not required, Advanced Nutrients Bud Candy. Got it right here. I had a feeling it might come up because this is an amazing product that is carbohydrate mix for big sugary nugs. Bam. We also have Terpinator, that's recommended. They both play nice in bloom and won't clog stuff up. So that is the first question, right? Molasses and trichomes. Does adding molasses in bloom boost trichomes or just feed microbes? And that bud candy is great for hydro soil. And then we've got Trinity, which is great for soil. This has got molasses in it, kelp, a whole bunch of amazing stuff. All right, so you're not feeding the plant sugar, right? Guys, bottom line, you're feeding the microbes that feed the plant. So there it is. Bam. All right, closing thought on that. Trichomes come from balanced nutrition and happy microbes, not sugar rushes. So think food web, not frosting. Bam. Next question, guys. What's up, everyone? So cool. Makes all the buds taste the same. Okay. Question number 2. I'll come back. I'll try to figure that one out. A dryback. Question number 2, guys. Here's a dryback question, right? Who hasn't heard this one before? Should you let your medium dry out completely between feedings or keep it consistently moist? Any votes in the chat? Let your medium dry out completely before feedings or keep it consistently moist. Let's go ahead and pop that into our MyRemy, shall we? All right. Here's the question. Bam. Now, guys, MyRemy, this has been tweaked and built out. It scrapes the internet for all growing science stuff. And in theory, this thing knows a lot. What we've done at GZ Grow Shops is we've worked with it. We've tweaked the language. We've got it to speak grower talk, okay? And give it a try. Let's get to this answer, okay? So, should you let your medium dry out? I hear a lot about drybacks. Mike's got a comment. I hear a lot about drybacks. I get how to do it in soil and cocoa. I'm mainly a RDWC, recirculating deep water culture. Love it. How do you do that in RDWC? That's a great question. Is it even possible? It's a great question. I will try to ask MyRemy that. Seems hard. All right, excellent question. This one makes or breaks a grow faster than any fancy nutrient lineup. All right, here's the short version. Don't let it go bone dry, and don't keep it soggy either. You want that just about dry sweet spot where the top inch or two is dry to the touch, but there's still moisture deep down. Who hasn't been told in our grow store, go down about a thumb's distance of dryness. Let that top level dry out before you rewater. It seems to be always a good tip, MyRemy confirming. Here's how to break down by medium. Soil, let it partially dry between waterings. The mild dry period pulls oxygen into the root zone and encourages root growth. If you wait too long, soil pulling from pot sides, you're stressing the roots and slowing growth. A good rhythm is water when the pot feels light, but not featherweight, usually every 2 to 4 days, depending on pot size and environment. That's great. So just let the top level dry out to visually dry out, and usually between 2 and 4 days. Now, that was for soil. Cocoa and soilless, this hits on Mike's question. How do you go dry back in RDWC? Well, keep it, they're gonna go into cocoa right here. They'll get into hydro in a second. For cocoa, keep it consistently moist. Never fully dry. They're emphasizing never. Cocoa holds air even when wet, so it's better to feed smaller, more frequent doses. Letting cocoa dry out completely causes salt buildup and pH swings. That will mess up your nutrient intake. Great tip. I think I knew that, but it's nice to hear it laid out like that. Cocoa should never go dry. All right, cocoa has plenty of aeration in it when wet, and that's going to be your best watering strategy. Hydro, Mike, here we go, baby. Thanks for hanging in there. Hydro, never let roots dry. There's our obvious answer. If you let your roots go dry in hydro, what is that, an empty reservoir? That's not looking good. Always maintain water contact and dissolved oxygen. All right, the TLDR, soil, moist, slightly dry, and then rewater. Cocoa, moist all the time, never bone dry, and hydro's always going to be wet. High oxygen is key. All right, guys, I had a feeling this might be useful. This is $10, $9, something like that. And this actually does a decent job of letting you know relatively where you are in your pot. So if you're a little new to understanding where you are, like what does a dry pot weigh? Maybe you just, we got questions. This can help solve that riddle in the beginning. You might not use it forever, but certainly I think most growers, if you ask them, will have had one of these at one point, and they do. They help you dial things in. So that is the dry back versus the moist medium question. All right, should we let our medium dry out completely before feedings? I think MyRemy did a good job on that one. Healthy roots like consistency, not extremes, and consistent oxygenated moisture helps keep microbes working for you. That's the real root magic. So, bam. Moist with autos. Yes, microbes can't live dried out. That's right. That's right. You let that dry out and your microbes are going to suffer. Canitrol, empty the reservoir. What's up, Katie Fowler? I like both. Starve the plant every so often. Other than that, I just lift the pot to see how light it is. Exactly. That's how a lot of experienced growers can just tell by weight. Chi-Town, Stealth Grow. I feed 20 to 24 ounces 3 to 4 times a day in cocoa. There you go. Keeping it wet. Just like MyRemy says. Mike, you're welcome, buddy. Awesome, guys. Moving on. Last question, guys. Ice flush. Wow. Who hasn't heard of the ice flush? Ice cubes. Let's torture our plants, shall we? All right, well, let's get to this one. Once and for all, do ice flushes before harvest actually increase resin production? Anyone want to take a stab at this one? Science, bro science, or BS? Plop it into MyRemy, available free at GZ Grow Shops. Hit enter, and you will have your truth. I will read it. The old ice flush for frosty buds debate. Classic grow myth territory right there. Here's the straight talk. No solid evidence says ice flushes boost trichomes or potency. Oh, Canitrol, I do it. All right, we got some votes in here. Hey, yeah, what's up? I'll get back to it. No solid evidence. Dumping ice water on your roots doesn't magically trigger resin production. Plants don't really sense danger through cold roots the way people think. What it does do is shock the root zone, slow nutrient uptake, and sometimes stress the plant in a not so useful way right before harvest. Well, if you notice frostier buds after an ice flush, it's usually because you were already near peak ripeness and the trichomes were maturing naturally, not because the ice did it. God damn it. All right. What can slightly increase resin without root trauma? Well, cooler night temps near harvest around 65 degrees, UVB or strong full spectrum light exposure the last two to 3 weeks. Pump up that intensity, and if you've got that UVB light, smart move. Controlled dryback or mild late flower stress, like letting the pot get a little bit lighter than usual. So that's not a bone dry. That's a little bit drier than usual. Late in flower. So bottom line, skip the ice. It's more likely to stunt the finish than help it. Focus on dialing in light, temp, and timing for the real trichome payoff. If you want to go bougie but effective, Terpinator is a solid bloom enhancer that can actually support resin and terp production without freezing your roots. Great. So, do ice flushes before harvest actually increase resin production? Likely no. Here's one that will just chill your plants. So, it is a root shock, not a trichome trigger. All right. Bloom boosters, carbohydrates, light, UVB. We've heard some things that can actually, low temps in the 65, these can actually help trigger some trichome and terpene production. All right, my man. Oh, and I don't want to forget the Grove bag. This is a game changer for long-term storage and terpene protection. We all know that. All right, what's up, everybody? Awesome to have everybody with us. A couple more comments. Yeah. Katie Fowler, I've dried cocoa out with no problems. It actually depends on what nutrients you use. Good, listen to that. Different perspectives coming in. MyRemy, of course, said it's okay to keep watering the cocoa. There's plenty of aeration in there. Katie Fowler saying, hey, I've let it dry out. I've been all right. Katie Fowler grows some fire. Check out his Instagram. City Town Stealth Grow, last 10 to 14 days of flower. Swap back to 18/6 light schedule. Interesting. Try it and you'll thank me. I've never heard that one before. That might set us up for another bro science question. I like that. So Chi-Town kind of taking Remy's suggestion of increasing light intensity later the last couple of weeks. Chi-Town saying he's doing that. In fact, he's bumping that lighting schedule back up to 18/6, right? That's what we use in veg. Incredible. Also, we'll give you a slight jump start for a re-veg if that's what you're about. Chi-Town ads. Excellent. And adding in Grove bags for sure. Love it. Gentlemen, ladies, if there are, and we don't have any lady followers, 1 in 20. Anyway, all right, growers, that's going to wrap up tonight. MyRemy live Q&A. Quick recap. Molasses feeds microbes, not directly the trichomes. Consistent moisture beats full drybacks every time. And ice flushes don't make frost. Good nutrition and curing do. So huge thanks to everybody who tuned in. Remember, Grow Like a Pro live here in the store, the class Saturday, November 15th, the mushroom class Saturday, December 6th, and that Milwaukee pH pen giveaway on Instagram. All right, so hit GZ Grow Shops up for free guides, live shopping, and your AI Grow Buddy, MyRemy, 24/7. And I'm Joe from Green Zone Grow Shops. Real growers, real talk, no fluff. See you next week. Peace, everybody.